This is my white O'Hara rose bush. You can see there are tons of blooms on it. Very healthy. Let me try and count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, there are 14 blooms and several more baby ones forming. And there are aphids, but I'm leaving them because they attract the beneficial insects. Partly because they're extremely fragrant, and also because of their color. The light color attracts more pests. You can see quite a few there as well. So it's not the breeder's fault that there are pests on these blooms. It's just the nature of the game. I am trying to attract hoverfly larvae and eggs, well, hoverfly eggs to be laid in the blooms and foliage so they can eat the aphids and then also eventually eat the thrips that are going to be coming later in this season. You get a lot of thrip damage with these fuller blooms. It's very easy to get rid of aphids. You just have to either basically rub them off with your hands, or you can rinse them off with a strong jet of water from your water hose, but not too strong that it would damage the petals. So you have to find that perfect setting. Each garden nozzle is different, and it also depends on your water pressure too. But you want it to be strong enough to rinse off the aphids if you want to get rid of them, but also you don't want to damage the blooms. So I'm just letting nature do its thing. I am a no spray organic garden. This particular variety in rosebush, the white O'Hara, is extremely fragrant. It's considered a cut flower, cut rose. Several of my other rose bushes are blooming and or going to bloom soon. This is my Munstead wood right here. I actually didn't get a chance to prune it this season, and I don't think I'm going to now at this point. This is its second growing season with my garden. It's really taken off this season. Last season it kind of struggled. It did push a few blooms for me, but not much. This season I can tell it's going to be a showstopper. It's only early April 14th, so mid-April. It's Alex Red, A-L-E-K, or E-C, sorry, Alex Red. I believe it was bred in the 70s. It doesn't seem very popular these days, but as you can see, very full, very vibrant. They start out crimson-y red, like a deeper red, and then they kind of fade out to a more magenta red. The blooms are extremely full and fragrant. I would say fruity fragrance. It's my ebb tide. That's my Pope John Paul rose tree. It tipped over. I guess it got a little windy at some point. Over there's my Bring Me Sunshine that I just got from Otto & Sons. It's about to push some major blooms. This is my Emma Woodhouse. Huntington Rose Bare Root that I got from the David Austin website. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is not Emma Woodhouse. This is Jude the Obscure. I got it as a baby plant, so it's really coming into its own now. I think this is its third growing season. This is Emma Woodhouse. I think this is its third growing season with me. It's really pushing a lot of foliage this year and really coming into its own. And it's already pushing a new bloom. This is my 2 Olivia Rose Austin rose bushes that I got from Heirloom. I just did a hard prune on it less than a month ago, but it was really bare looking, but now I would say it's one of my most vigorous and hardy varieties that I grow right now. It's already pushing tons of new foliage, as you can see. I did a hard prune because I'm trying to get it to bloom more. I think it will bloom more this season because this, I think, is going to be its 3rd year here in my garden. The first growing season here, it struggled. I didn't know if it would survive. This is supposed to be Double Delight, but it does not have any fragrance. I believe it's mislabeled. It is the same coloring as Double Delight, which is red and white gradients of color. So I think this is either White Lies or Cherry Parfait. This is my own root Parfuma Earth Angel. This is also its 3rd season, and you can tell that it has tons and tons of blooms forming on the bush, and it's very bushy. I believe it's just one bush. So it's really coming into its own this growing season. That's my cat, Minnie. Say hi, Minnie. These rose varieties with the Shasta Daisy bushes are Chrysler Imperial. I got them on sale at, I think, Home Depot or Lowe's. That's the bloom right there. It's not a very pretty bush. The roses do have a lot of fragrance, but it is that typical hybrid tea bloom form. It does have a lot of fragrance, though. So I would say it's a highly fragrant rose, but it's not a pretty bush to look at. Again, that's my white O'Hara. Very beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite rose varieties right now. Just gonna take a quick whiff, because that's the whole reason why I grow roses, is for the fragrance. It's still a little early, so there's not much fragrance right now. That's a pink O'Hara. One of them is grafted, and then there's actually 2 own root, or possibly 1 own root pink O'Haras. There's 1 bloom there that's spent. I didn't get a chance to deadhead it yet. And then there's another one coming into its own. Now with the pink O'Hara, a lot of times the blooms look kind of splotchy like that, and then as they mature it becomes the signature pink color. And it can range anywhere from like a light ballet pink to a more deeper bubblegum pink. I think it depends on the weather. Like if it's really warm or really cool, any factor can affect the color of the bloom. That's my Evelyn that I got from Otto & Sons as well. You can see the variety tag there. It's pushing a ton of new blooms, which will open in the next few weeks. That's my Star Jasmine vine. And I started some sweet peas from seed, which is why you see all these little mini trellis bamboo stick thingies for the sweet peas, because they need it to keep their foliage off the ground. I'm not sure how they'll do in my zone. but this part of the garden does get a good chunk of afternoon shade, so I don't think the sweet peas will suffer too much. Just wanted to test it out and see how they did. It was my first time growing sweet pea vines from seed, ever, actually, now that I think about it. As you can tell, I don't have the neatest garden. Every time I try to like really dig into organizing it better, life gets in the way. I just don't get around to doing much, or making much of a dent, I should say. That is my Princess Alexandra of Kent there. Right behind it is my Graham Thomas that I also got from Otto & Sons. The Princess Alexandra of Kent I did get from Otto & Sons as well, but I got it last season. This is my Bosco Bell right there, 15-gallon. And then right behind Evelyn and Bosco Bell is my J'adore from Grace Rose Farms. This variety has been a beast for me as well. I think this will be its second growing season with me. And then in the back behind the J'adore is my James Galway. I have two of them. I started training them to kind of curve together to create an arch, but I haven't been on top of the training of the canes, so they're kind of just going everywhere like long octopus arms or spider arms. But I'm going to try and work on that. An interesting little tidbit for my garden, we actually have been having hummingbird nests being built in our backyard. I think this is its third or fourth season, and so every year they've been coming back, and I'll always see Mama and Papa Hummingbird flitting around the front garden here, because my next door neighbors have a lot of hummingbird friendly foliage and flowers for them, and I also have some going as well. They really seem to love these birds of paradise here, and the flowers from that aloe vera plant back there, it's a monster. I need to actually transplant it somewhere else because it's taking up way too much space there. And then underneath my James Galways, I have a Molyneux that I got his own root from my Auntie Tess that I met actually last spring at the Rose Days at Otto & Sons in 2024. Yeah, it's been about a year. Hi, Auntie. And then behind the Molyneux is, I believe, my Wedgwood. I can't see it very well, but it's the black pot right behind the Molyneux. That one's really taken off too. I should actually transplant both of those either into the ground or bigger pots. I'll get around to it eventually. And then right between the Molyneux and my Princess Alexandra in Kent, right behind it is a Brother Cadfael. My Auntie Tess actually asked me to try and revive it for her while she was out of town. She went to the Philippines a few months ago, and I wasn't sure that this little guy would survive because, as you can see, most of the canes were brown and dried out. But after I gave it a bunch of TLC, so what I did was I noticed that the bottom of the pot, the drainage holes are only a couple, and roses really need a lot of drainage holes because they hate having soggy soil. And so I drilled several more holes in the drainage holes, amended the soil, and then mulched it with 2 or 3 inches of mulch, and just put it in a protected spot that gets sun, but not a lot of sun. And it looks like it's surviving. I am not 100% sure if this cane popping out there is from Brother Cadfael or if it's the rootstock cane, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and then once it blooms I'll know for sure if it's overtaken by the root stock or if it's brother cattail surviving. It's just too delicate, in my opinion, to try and mess with it. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. See what happens. I have a bunch more roses behind all the ones I just showed you. Maybe I'll do a separate video. But right now I think I'm gonna end it. So again, that's my Evelyn there. That's my Bosco Bell. That's my pink O'Hara's right there. This is actually an Evelyn as well. It was a very sad looking Evelyn when I got it. I didn't know it was an Evelyn because it was like a surprise mystery rosebush, I should say, and then it finally bloomed last season, and lo and behold, it was Evelyn. So it was a lucky find. I did do a hard prune, so these are all pretty much new growth. This is an Eden. I think it's from Grace Rose Farm, and I'm pretty sure Otto & Sons grew it for her. It's a baby Royal Park. This is Ambridge, David Austin Ambridge. I did a hard prune on this one too, so this is all. I left the main canes, but all the smaller lateral canes are new foliage from. I probably did the hard prune about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer. So it really appreciated the hard prune evidently, because that's all new foliage, mostly all new canes. This is my top cream right here, very healthy and vigorous plant. This is a new basil shoot from the top cream, and it looks like it is above the crown, so 99.9% sure it's a top cream basil cane. This is my Parfuma Earth Angel again. I have several of this variety. It's one of my first varieties that I bought for my garden. I just fell in love with the very strong fruity fragrance of it, and the bloom form. It's like a peony bloom form, very full, very globular and circular, chalice shaped, extremely full petals. I think it's like anywhere from 75 to like over 100 petals. It doesn't like extreme heat though, so that is one downfall for this variety for my hardiness zone, but I do get a lot of shade from some neighboring trees. And I also put up a shade tent in this particular part of the garden because this is basically my hot spot of my garden, at least in the front. It gets a lot of hot direct sun pretty much all day. So when I'm trying to keep my leaves and foliage and plants and any blooms that might appear during the summer, keeping them from getting fried, basically I put up a makeshift garden tarp shade, like how you would see at a garden nursery if you were to go to buy plants, and they have those shaded tarps above their stock that needs shade. Same concept. So I use that to protect the plants from getting too severely burned or crispy. Even if they did get crispy, they would still survive, but they would be struggling. And I don't like to see my rose babies struggling. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Again, that's in the back, that's James Galway, also by David Austin. Ambridge Rose by David Austin. Munstead Wood by David Austin. Look at that. It's going to really be a showstopper soon. Let's just try and count how many blooms are just on this one cane here. 1, 2, 3, 4 little baby ones there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Looks like about 16 blooms there total. And they're not going to all open at the same time. Like the bigger middle ones are going to open first, and then the surrounding blooms will open after. So I'll definitely take some picture and video once this rose bush starts blooming. If you haven't had a chance to see Munstead Wood or get a Munstead Wood rose bush, definitely get it if you ever see it. I want to say it's discontinued. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued. So most stores don't sell it anymore. David Austin's website does sell it occasionally. I know it sold out pretty quick for this growing season, and I think they actually had to cancel a lot of the pre-orders this growing season because they said it wasn't doing too well this season, and so they wanted to give it more time to grow. And anyone that pre-ordered from the David Austin website had the option to wait until next growing season, which I actually had to do for my Jubilee celebration that I pre-ordered from them. It was supposed to be ready this growing season, but they said it wasn't doing well and needed more time, and so I opted to wait until next spring. So that would be spring of 2026. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. See you guys next time. Bye.